Walmart Canada calls this set Masters of the Universe Origins Retro Punching He-Man and Skeletor for Mattel's 80th anniversary. I guess it's a good name. They're not really Origins figures. They are a throwback to the original figures, and I guess I have to check it out. The box looks so good. I don't want to open it. Like I said, I was able to get this from Walmart Canada. It actually, there was no packing inside the box or anything, but I ordered all of the Thundercats along with it. So I was very pleased to see we haven't had Masters of the Universe at retail, even shopping online, for a long time in Canada. So it was really good to see those sets. I hope that maybe the other Origins figures and maybe the WWE superstars will show up again at Walmart Canada. This is a beautiful packaging. I have my original childhood He-Man and Skeletor to compare. I also have the commemorative ones. We might not have to look at those, but the box is beautiful. So you can see it. The picture wraps around the side. Then we have this on the back. My friend Andy pointed out that this is actually the 2000X sword that Tila has. It's kind of, not right, I guess. She's always wielding in the artwork guns or swords, which she never came with in the original line. I should have my glasses on so I can get a really good look. Everything is taped together. This is going to be a video about opening it carefully, but I will. I really don't want to open it because it is such a beautiful box, but maybe I might have to get another one. I do want to get Mattel's, I guess, official 80th anniversary, the stuff that they put out super commemorative where the packaging is all red. I'm going to try not to do it. There's been just so many great things. I'm such a Mattel stan. I got so much Mattel stuff yesterday. I love all of their brands. I love Fisher-Price. I love everything. So you can see, look, the light is capturing that. This happens in a lot of their box art where they make the main characters glossy. So that's really cool how you can see. And then Teela and Man-at-Arms and Castle Grayskull on the back are just fading in the back. But I love to see the planets. The planets and the Barbarian, that's what got me into. This is what got me into Masters of the Universe. I didn't know about the cartoon. I was the figures first. My brother's friend had Skeletor. His father bought it for him. And when I saw this thing, I was like, what is that? I need that. And then I think a few days later, or maybe weeks later, I don't know, it was in 1982, my mother came home with He-Man and Teela, and they were just so Boris. You know, Boris art from the 70s? That's what I had posters on my wall of that. And so space, barbarian, monsters, love it. Okay. I'm gonna open this up carefully. So what I notice is this wraparound, this 80th anniversary, is what's holding it together. But we got two circular pieces of tape here, and then I think at the top, holding the doors open. I don't know what this is gonna destroy, but I should probably have an X-Acto knife. I do have one right here. Sweet, that one's good. Alright, and it's probably not the sharpest blade, but let's go. Let's get it done. Oh, I gotta talk about what's printed on the back here. Am I ruining it? Am I cutting something I shouldn't cut? I can't see. Look at this. They took away the swing waist for the modularity for the new Origins figures. They can all come apart and mix and match, which I love, but don't take advantage of. This sword, right off the bat, these are my notices. That is not the original power sword. It looks like it has pegs and peg holes that aren't the same as how the sword was originally, and also the prongs on the ends are separate, which isn't original. Squishy heads are original. I didn't even notice that Origins don't have squishy heads. The commemoratives have squishy heads. Barbie and Ken still have squishy heads. It's harder to match the plastic, I would assume. And then we have these beautiful retro, they really do look like the retro images. But is there paint deco differences? That's what I gotta find out. Alright, so back to destroying this beautiful packaging. I really don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this, and I don't know how to do this carefully, and I did not show the bottom of this. There's so much. Okay, there's 4. There's on these doors. Okay, this is working. I don't want to also scrape. I don't want to scrape the paint. This could, me being careful, could make this even worse in the end, but we'll just see. Okay, this one I did. Why don't you tell me? And then this one I don't know how to do. This one I can't find. I don't have a good, so maybe I don't have to. So I'm going to take my letter opener. I'm going to slide it under here and pull this out. Oh, it's not coming out. Oh. I'm going to destroy this package so you don't have to. Okay. Alright. Alright, so you can see it's just like a tab. They made it a little wider here. Look at this. Look at how retro. 80s for 80th. I guess that's why they're so excited about the 80th. I mean, in 20 years, how old are we going to be? And are we still going to feel the same way about toys? I don't know. I'm not even going to do the math right now and think how old I'm going to be in 20 years when the 100th anniversary of Mattel comes out. Okay, I'm going to have to deal with this part later. Oh no, I think I can get under there. I'm going to have to, or maybe I should keep this. I don't know. No, it's just going to get in the way. Sorry. Oh, sorry, this doesn't make for good YouTube, but this was pointed down at the floor like that. That could have been my toe. Alright. Okay, we're doing it. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this entertainingly. Oh, there, I got it. Cut it right across here like that. There we go. And then I'm going to carefully pull it out. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen with this package afterwards. But here we go. Here is the strip. Let's put that well out of the way. And then we can see this art even better, uninterrupted, even though I really like that overlay. I haven't cut the top 2 tapes that are holding these 2 doors open, so let's do that. Okay. I think you can get these circle stickers at like Staples or something. You can maybe see better here. So it's like the circle seals, but they're clear seals. All right, here I'm going to open up these doors now. Oh, on the top it says Masters of the Universe, and they have a hanging tab for retail. What's this? Did I just do that? Okay. All right, the box is ruined anyway, so what are we going to do? All right, it opens up like so. Looking pretty cool with the art. Got this. Could put a Fright Zone, pop it through there. And then we're opening it up on this side. We're going to see that. So we've got really retro art, something that we're missing from Mattel's packaging recently. It's getting not Masters of the Universe per se. There's some pretty good art on all of the packaging, but they've been I don't know, hopefully it's AI because it's really bad, and hopefully I'm not criticizing someone's artwork. Okay, that's oh no, I did not expect this. Am I the first person? I never saw anybody open this, I guess. Removable. It says removable. Does that mean this card is removable? I love this. It's just a piece of cardboard, Masters of the Universe, printed in red. Look at all those languages that says removable. And then inside, I didn't know this. I mean, come on, can we look at this a little more? Look at this scroll with He-Man, so classic. Look at this. I mean, it is kind of, his face, it looks kind of like coloring book art. At least the He-Man does. And then there's this one. Skeletor standing in Snake Mountain at the top. We love that. And then inside, this, I did not expect this. I just expected these to be inset. Oh, we can save the cards. Okay, I thought I was going to have to cut these out. I wasn't paying attention that they're slide out. And then, oh, look at this. It's a diorama piece. Check that out. So, not bad. Oh no, that's not scratch. How great to take a picture of a figure standing right in there. I mean, it's too bad about this cut here, but it is a good backdrop. And though I got a lot of glare going on, so that packaging is pretty sweet. Let me put this away. I actually have been, oh look here, and then on the inside, I don't know how, oh, because they just continued on the picture, so that would be uninterrupted on the flaps. But I'm planning on doing a video where some of the packaging I've put together like this, and I kind of love the, just like here, the diorama that it causes. So, I mean, the packaging, it looks pretty nice like this, and especially seeing the red inside, and I could also just stick the figures standing inside there, and it would work. You could level them up maybe a little bit, but alright, it's a beautiful box. So my original He-Man's in pretty good condition, except for, this is the one thing, these tabs, when you would put his hand in and out of the shield, like I was constantly, I can't believe how, I'm really surprised at how good, well, not really, because I was really careful with my toys, but every time I look at my original He-Man, like I've seen some messed up He-Man in my day, like every time you go to the thrift store. I guess I played with them every single day, but I guess I was really anal about being very careful with them. And look at this. We're going to probably see some comparisons. You can see that that is cardboard in there, that insert of red. They haven't done that since these originals, but man, original He-Man, what did I do with his axe? His axe is missing. Probably dropped it, like I'm dropping everything. We'll have to find that later. Can we get to the main thing? So we have the art. We've got a critter crawling around there. The comic book is just thrown in haphazardly. Oh man, they're the original comic books, which I have lots of these from the commemorative thing. Here's something about Canada, is that I didn't pay attention to till I think I only realized that this year, is that I have so many of the first, what are they, the original 4 storybook comic books that have the text underneath, which I think we're going to be able to look at today. So that seems to be the same artwork. Oh, so is it a diorama? It's the same picture on the back. And both of these slide out. But, so, I guess were they in French and English? I should probably go get my extra ones to find out. But I won't be doing that in this video, I guess. But maybe that's why, because they translated the storybook ones, and then they never. Look at this. So they're just like this. Why does this feel like it has more pages? Maybe I'm not I mean, this story made no sense. It was all like the figures made no sense too, all of these, but they were still really, really cool. And this is my definitive Masters of the Universe, because what I'm trying to say is that even the Wave 2 and the Wave 3 figures where in the States, they got different comic books, and even in the Europes, they got the different comic books too. Free illustrated book with purchase. I don't remember it saying that. Maybe the original ones did say that. So yes, I have so many of these storybooks. And these aren't the original too, which is kind of weird. Alcala, look, we got that. This artwork is incredible. On the back, this is different. I guess they're not making any more because we're just showing 2 of them. And they do have the 80th anniversary at the top. And let's check out these great clamshells. I love these. I wish every figure came with these. So let me put these aside. Yeah, I wish this is how they all open. And then they are sealed inside here in the packages. And I can now see the deco changes to Skeletor and what they did. And then He-Man. Oh, I'm really liking the metallic plastic that they used for the weapons for He-Man. It's these colors aren't on. Oh, it's a good thing I did bring the commemorative, because we have to talk about He-Man's face. But I gotta look back at the comic books again. Because look at Barbarian He-Man. Look how he was without his magic harness that the Green Goddess gives him. Does that happen in this? This isn't the Origins one where they show He-Man going into the forest, though. These aren't the first 2 mini-comics, which is weird that they did not include the Origin mini-comic. Battle in the Clouds and the Vengeance of Skeletor. Alright, I'm just haphazardly looking through these. I just can't believe how many pages. Tila on a horse. This is the best artwork. Some of the reproductions haven't been as good as the originals, and I don't think that they are. Maybe at the end of this video I'll go and get. Look, there's nude. What's his name? Stratos. Which is funny. That's the one that we got. I love that they made these characters as alternative paint variants, which is good. Anyway, I can't flip through all of these. We might have to save that for another day. We've got these comics in many different incarnations, and maybe one day I do have to compare all of them. But let's get on with these special metallic-y, shiny, new versions of these. These are beautiful though, so I love them. And then these cards are absolutely beautiful and not as thick as what we're seeing for the Thundercats. The WWE cards are still really, really thin, and when I put them in my bag to bring them home, they get destroyed and all bent up by the Thundercats, and the last waves of the Ninja Turtles had really sturdy cards. These are not as thick as those cards, but really nice packaging. Sorry, the packaging is just as awesome as these figures. Alright, so we're getting a lot more paint deco, which is maybe, oh yeah, maybe I don't. The thing I like about Masters of the Universe is that there wasn't a lot of paint deco, but we'll see. When it's done right, it's okay. But the fact that these pieces were molded in different colors and then you add them on top of each other, and I dropped so much stuff, I don't know where. Oh, the axe is right up here. We need to see the whole hole. Just these were bigger, they're hunkier, they're chunkier. This is what I like in a toy. And then they had these added accessories that all matched, and then you put them on, and they were layers of other, plastic on top of plastic, all molded in different colored plastic. It's what I like. And then the paint, and then everything that was painted so well and minimally, and just, it's pop art, and that's why I like it. Now I can see that these are awesome, but they're not as matchy, they're not as cohesive, which is more realistic. And I guess I have to be careful with this because I want to save it too. Where else am I going to put these? Am I going to put them back in the packaging? You know what, I'm not. These are, I thought these were going back in that, but no, I'm going to be able to access these and have them. All right, the question everybody probably wants to know, is there an elastic band? And there is not. It is an Origins pelvis peg going on here. We've got the barbell going through the loincloth. And it looks like, is there some paint variation? No, it's just a darker maroon. We've got the bracelets, arm things, tight joints, very metallic armor. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place, but painted boots. I'm just trying to figure this out. So yeah, we got the ball joint in the hips. So hopefully it's not going to break or anything. And then all of the paints, well, not all of them, but so much shiny metallic. Do I like this? Do I like this that it's not painted on all the way? No, I think it's intended paint due to the sculpt. Maybe they were supposed to paint like a thin strap there, but I don't know how that's holding on. Is it stapled to his arm? Is it embedded? It looks orange, different orange than the belt. The boots seem to be a different to this, but I guess that's because of the straps and the fur. I think I prefer a white fur than a brown fur, maybe. Maybe that would make him look like Santa Claus. And I should be holding him up, but we're just looking at him right now. So yeah, we've got a lot of different colors, and his hair is it's more yellow, but again, we will see this more. Here, let me put this in his hand. So he looks exactly the same. The shield, it appears that not a cardboard insert, but it almost looks like a sticker. It's shiny orange, kind of. Maybe it's like a spray-on deco that's matched really nicely. But it's so thickly painted that it almost looks like a sticker. It can't be a sticker though. And you can really see the shiny metallic, and then it's all got a rivet holding it together, a real metal rivet. And then it looks a lot thicker. It's a bigger holding joint, but this is the first shield. They've recreated these shields many times, and this is the first one that looks a lot like the original, which I will show again. And this is how I destroyed the shield, by putting it on too much. It's not as a tight fit, which I will show you that. Yeah, it's gonna fall off. Maybe you can squeeze it up over the bracer on his arm, and then it stays on. And then here's what you've been screaming at me to do. Can we see the punch action? There's the swinging punch action. His weapons aren't going flying, which is nice, because in recent years, toys, they don't hold. The weapons and the harnesses and everything don't hold on. They can't hold their weapons as well. I don't know. I think it's due to computers and not testing it physically. I think that's why toys don't hold their armor, and they don't hold their weapons. very well. The head does turn, and it is squishy, as you can see. Like it's supposed to be. It must be hard to match the rubbery plastic with the solid plastic. So I am happy for a solid plastic. Get some plastic threads hanging on there. And then the harness definitely feels more shapely, and it doesn't have the same amount of detail. That's really funny that they added all of the detail back. And this looks different. We're gonna get to that. There's the colors. I'm gonna be doing I'm gonna do the comparison now. I can't do every weapon. I guess I can. So you can see that looks pretty much. There's something about this one being thicker. This is pointy, protruding more than the original. I mean, I have to take everything off. Oh, and I haven't. So this is not the power sword. I mean, I'm not mad. It does look better without having they're supposed to have those voids in there, I guess. Is that what they thought? Did they talk to the designers that those voids aren't supposed to be there? That was just for production and to make it more solid and for safety practices. And then that can't be true because we have more safety practices today. Oh, and here's something that I've noticed that they've been doing in the design. And look, me with my anal retentive original power sword, look, not a bent in this. And I have seen that when they are designing the new reproductions, that they will put in, over time, this sword has been in He-Man's hand. So look, or maybe they did it so it fits into his hand perfectly, but usually when you find a power sword, it is going to be warped like this because it's been in He-Man's hand since 1982. And then mine has not been in his hand since 1982. It's been, I rarely used his power sword because I wanted him to hold all of his weapons. So I was tucking his, I was tucking the sword right here like this. It always sat in the back. Me talking about how these harnesses stay together. This one, I think that has something to do with age. But this will help it stay together. That also helps that stay closed because this always stayed closed and on there. Okay, and you can see that the armor is, see, we don't have that H in there. See how that H, we've got those two lines that separate the bottom irons, called the iron cross. See the H on his chest. We've got the two lines sculpted here and here. Those are gone. So it's just this flat. So that doesn't look as good. I like the sculpted details. And then his face is pretty much on par, but it is a bit softer. Look how, this is Big Jeff, by the way. If you've ever seen Big Jim's Big Jeff, it's He-Man. They're the same guy. I love that these faces are so 70s. I love that Masters of the Universe is based so much on the 70s. How it was created in the 70s. Came out in the 80s. But yes, the new face is softer, like always. But it does look good. And he looks really pasty in comparison to tanned He-Man. Which is, they usually do try to make He-Man more tanned. There's something dirty about his skin. Like, I just opened up the Stranger Things figures, and they were a little bit like, they're jaundiced and dirty, and they were supposed to look like this. But maybe he's not supposed to look this. The colors are kind of freaking me out that they don't all match, that it's not all cohesive, but I kind of like it. I like that it's different, and I like that everything is painted really, really nicely. I mean, I can talk. I've been talking so much about this figure for so long. I like it. Can I move on? I will show the weapons better. I mean, they do look exactly the same. This does look thinner to me. I guess it probably is slightly thinner, but the design is pretty much the same. This is a beautiful designed axe. Again, maybe it's because of the 70s influence. I have to say that the weapons in Origins, even though I like Origins even more than I like my original figures, but the weapons aren't as cool as the original weapons. And yeah, and it's totally the amount of detail, and it's totally the 70s influence detail. I'm noticing that there's production numbers on here, but we don't have that on this new one. However, this shiny plastic, I mean, this is beautiful. I mean, it's exactly the same. That's why it's a beautiful axe. All right, and then the shield. Thought you were getting Skeletor. The clamping stuff is way larger, and then the nipple does protrude a bit further. Yeah, it does. I love this shiny plastic, and it's nice that I didn't think it was fitting on very nice, but it is. They did pay attention to making sure that the shield fits on, and probably even better, this is a more of a rubbery plastic, and this is much stiffer and probably is not going to break in the same way. So this is constructed better. I don't know how they constructed this. See, these are melting points to melt the plastic, the two pieces that go together. And then here we've got a metal rivet holding it together. So that's security. So I would say that the shield is an improvement from the original, with also cardboard insert, but so 70s. Love that. Such a 70s toy. I showed the harness. You can see that he's got a wider bra strap in the back. With his armor, it fits completely different. I don't know, do I have to break it down that much? I mean, I should take off He-Man's harness anyway. Let's do it. Let's look at the rubberiness of it. And then let's look at He-Man's buff body. And I didn't even talk about the articulation besides that. The head turns and the legs move on the new ball joint, which is so much better. The punching action, and his skin color is so strange. Alright, let's take this off. I better be careful with my original 80s masterpiece. Oh, now I couldn't open this at all, the back bra strap. But this does feel more brittle. I think it also has gotten more brittle over time. Hopefully you can see those two embedded sculpt parted that they took away there. This does look flat, which is sad, but I do like this plastic. So this is one of the reasons I do like Origins figures better, is because of the rubbery plastic does feel so soft. And I mean, there's something great about this feel too, because it feels so retro and 70s. I like these production numbers too that they have on all of the stuff, which is lacking from today. When you find a weapon or a toy, you'd never be able to know what it goes to. But I do like the flexible rubberiness of this, and I like how plastics have gotten so much, like these metallic looking plastics are so much better than like vac metal, which can chip, and just the different colored paints that they used to use. But it's painted very nicely for the most part in a richer, it's a good, more of a redder than a rustier red. I guess that's also, now this is again very 70s, dingy, but his skin makes up for the dinginess. And then let's check out his, you can see whatever that says there, Mattel in the year 2024. They make these, did they have these ready to go? Wait, you can probably see in the computer better. 2024. say 2025 or 2024? I think this is 2024. Mattel. They made these a long time ago. You can really see the funny color that it is. Maybe it has to do with the gloss. Oh, and that was one of the main problems with Super 7 making the figures, is that they made them way too glossy. But you can see original gloss. It was perfection. I mean, it really was perfection. I don't mind these matte, but that's one of the main things, and probably why I was talking about them looking Stranger Things, because it does look dull. But I do like that. And then it probably makes the more metallic-y things that are shiny pop, like the art on the packaging where the He-Man and the Skeletor were showing and glowing. The metallic paints are doing the same on his very, very matte body. It looks like it was painted. It's so matte. And then am I going to try to pull off the arm to see? No, but I will. He will do a super punch right at the camera. It's more of a tick, but that's cool. He's cool. All right, clean all this up, and oh, I haven't done the power sword. Different color, not as rich. I didn't mention that about that. This is such a better gray than this real modern silver, but I also like this. And then the biggest disappointment. Oh, and check this out. We've got the opposite. Jump ahead to Skeletor. Yeah. He-Man, first of all, is supposed to have the male plug on the sword, and it seems Skeletor. Actually, the plugs are kind of like male and female, so it comes out a bit, and then Skeletor's will go in a bit, but have the main peg, so I guess that's how they came by that. But this, you'd think that they would do that. You would think that they would make the sword look exactly the same, and I think that this is hilarious. Maybe they did it so you could fit the hand in better, but I think because of what they looked at in their prototypes, that they thought that, or in their, I don't know, their collection, their archive is the word I'm looking for, collection, that they thought that was supposed to be bent, because they did it with the Beastman's whip too, I think. I forget the other. I've noticed it on other weapons that have been reproduced, and that's been incorporated in the new design. Anyway, let's finally get to Skeletor. Yeah, it's the matte finish. I don't know why I didn't talk about that from the very beginning. That is the weirdest, off-putting part of this. He's so pale and matte. Okay, I think that Skeletor is going to have... This is not MOTU's Day, by the way, and it's not MOTU Monday. It's just, I needed to see these figures, but I can MOTU's Day podcast like no one, I guess, when we're talking about Masters of the Universe. How long does it take me to review two simple figures? I forget I'm trying to be careful. I'll have less to say about this. Alright, Skeletor. Right off of the bat, let's take out Skeletor's power sword and He-Man's power sword, and Skeletor's power sword and Skeletor's power sword. So you can see it's the same difference. What's going on in my original one? It's part of the mold is in there. That's it. Did I chew on this? We've got a little bit of more of a bend in this one. Oh, because he always had it in his hand. I think. Yeah, he always had it in his hand because he had a hand free. So I had to put it in. It always had to be in his hand. That would totally be why. So yes, the sword, and we had to put the two halves together, of course. As you can see, it's both a negative, it's both a male and female end, and that makes me think that they're going to securely go together. I thought this was such a cool concept that there were two and they go together and they didn't really fit into their hands when you did it. I guess they did. The grip got really, really big. You can see here the slot. Does it go together better? It got really, really thick. Yeah, the handle was really, really way too thick. And they've, me talking about how they were concentrating on making the handle fit into the, as a singular sword, it seems, but the fact that it went together and then would be the key to open up Castle Grayskull. And you had to put them together to open up Castle Grayskull, which didn't really make sense because you didn't really have to put them together. All right, and then this one's definitely more streamlined, and this might actually be the Origins sword. I should have probably brought the Origins in, and then how well does it fit into his hand when it fits very nicely into his hand. And then we need that curved. We don't actually really need the curved handle holder protector. But that's He-Man holding the sword. He took the sword over right away. Let's check out the Havoc staffs. Again, all of the plastic is shinier. This is where I keep my figures, by the way. I needed to buy the most cheapest. I wanted to display these. They're not displayed right now, but dollar store lunch boxes or sandwich boxes, whatever these are. And then I had them all on a shelf and leaned up. I have very thin shelves, so it was perfect, and that was my display for a while, but now I've put them away. And this is the commemorative one. Why am I... Well, we can't get into the commemorative today. Did I just compare the commemorative sword? No, I did not. All right, there we go. We will step back to He-Man for a second. Here's commemorative He-Man. I have his armor loose in case I want to use it and swap it out. This is all very brittle plastic. It feels very much like it, but this was their attempt at making He-Man before. I don't know what happened to the mold. I don't know what happened when they do this. Everybody noticed it. It was still squishy, but it was such a smaller, thinner head. I didn't mind it. It doesn't look bad, but people did freak out a bit and say, that's not He-Man. And it definitely wasn't He-Man. But this new one, with wider head, with wider face, even though it's less detail, it does kind of look like his nose looks really big. He kind of looks like the guy from Frozen, doesn't he? Yeah, maybe this is kind of a janky looking figure, now that I'm comparing them. Maybe it looks like it looks better. Yeah, it does look better in person than it's looking with he's all blown out with the lights. Yeah, he does look better in person. What was I going to say about him? I was going to say that, oh yeah, it looks like a knockoff. It does look like a bootleg He-Man. Alright, back to Skeletor, who looks so good. Alright, and then Skeletor's Havoc staff. We got this more brittle, yeah, it's not as bendy as the original one, which is the opposite of what I've been saying. So this one's more gummy, and then this one is more brittle. But it is, okay, I can hear. This won't make that rubbery sound. It's shiny, and I like the metallic plastic that it's made of, and the design is pretty much exactly the same. Just, it is a little cartoonized, it's a little dumbed down, and it doesn't have the bend that this one always had, which it kind of like. It's kind of charming, even though it's from being in the package. It always had made it a little more rudimentary, and this one's really straight. So that's funny. They make this really straight, but not the handle guard on the sword. All right, those were his two weapons. And then here we go. Here is Skeletor and Skeletor. So with Skeletor, I mean, I didn't really focus on He-Man's open hand, But we're not going back to He-Man again. Skeletor has this really noticeable claw hand, and his hand looks bigger. His new hand looks bigger. So it does look like the mold has been, it looks like they definitely didn't use the same mold, but maybe things aren't molded the same as they used to be, because it is more, or maybe, why did they take away the detail? Did they do it on purpose? Is it a molding process that happens now that toys can't be as, this kind of looks like a Mumra hand. I mean, I have that coming. Those Mumra video is coming, but it just looks like I guess it's reminding me of the glove from whatever Thundercats, whatever that's called. Yeah, it's a little more flattened, a little more cartoonized, and then again he's a little paler. But the face paint now. Let's check that out. Let's check out these face paints. So this new face paint, I kind of like it, but when I'm looking back at this, 70s. When I'm looking at this, 70s repro. That extra red is kind of cool. They added a little more. I mean, there were so many different decos of Skeletor's face over the years, or during his production. I guess he was made in different countries, but I mean, there's something so rudimentary, and the children were doing such a good job in the factories in the 80s, opposed to the adults that they got working now, I guess. Okay, I don't know if that's true. And then we've got all of these embellishments here, little bits of paint going on here. I would love to see Man-at-Arms done with a little more extra deco, and there's not too much extra deco, which is great. And then they painted his toenails, so that's really funny. I saw some video. I don't think I saw anybody review this pack. I would have noticed the packaging, but I do remember seeing somebody show painted Skeletor toenails on some figure, and they took the boots all the way around, which is something that didn't always happen, which was kind of weird. And then look, you can see where when they were painting these things, did they get the full boot? Did they see how these lines go up a little bit further? But then they were painting these so that you could use the same mold for different figures. So that was kind of designed in the main sculpt of these too. Oh, and then look what they did here. They actually painted all the way up on those, and they didn't make it a clear boot. They added the extra feathers. So I mean, that's kind of cool that they made it look like one of the paintings from that like Earl Norman or Alcala would draw and paint. So that's the pale skin, again, giving me those Stranger Things vibes with the muted, matte, pale skin. And the armor, it's gonna be we got the same thing going on. Do they look wider? The torso looks wider. Okay, let's get back to He-Man. I think the torso is slightly wider on the new one. Take out the sword, He-Man. Let's not mix these things up. I'm looking at his back right now. You're looking at his front right now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. It could be an optical illusion because of matte and glossy. But I think that the torso is slightly wider. I notice it more on the back, which would be the same for Skeletor. So without taking off all of his armor, it is attached in the same way. Look, we've got less of a hangover belt. They knew they didn't need to use that extra plastic. They did a really good job recreating it. They added some embellishment to the bones around here, opposed to there too. So cool. Love these. We've got peg holes in the bottoms of their feet, which is something that the original figures did not have. I'm getting tired of listening to myself talk too, so let's just end it right here. These are cool. Go get them. Hopefully, I don't know where they're. I guess they're available at Walmart, or are they Target exclusives in the States? I'm not sure. Go get them. They're incredible. I think they are Target exclusive. So lucky us Canadians, we finally got something that Masters of the Universe made. And whoa, wait. Let's go back here. Because usually if we get something, it has to be in French. And they did include these as multilingual, as I showed you with that thing. So these are multilingual, but for some reason they didn't have to do it with the storybook inside. They got some kind of law allowed them to do that. Maybe they're not. Maybe you cannot find these in Quebec. Who knows? Anyway, I love these. I love these comic books. I have so many different versions of these though now. So, but yeah, I gotta put these in my binder. Packaging, binder stuff coming up. I want to show you my Masters of the Universe packaging collection. I don't know how popular that video will be, but I can't throw out any of this beautiful art. And then we will revisit my binder, where we have to. I'm looking into finding other sleeves. I'm thinking about. Yeah, we'll talk about that some other day. These are great. They're weird. That's why they're pale and matte. So that makes me think that they're different and cool, and they're definitely recognizable. Look, that's a pink dot, which is really cool too. I guess that red paint is pink on his cheeks too. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna shut up because I could probably talk about more details forever and ever. Thanks so much for joining me today. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until next time.